So good evening, everyone. Please, we are sorry for the little technical glitches we do have. We sincerely apologize for that. And we are about to start now. And our special guests, they are all here. Dr. Chris is here with us. Dr. Clement is also here with us, and also Sullivan is here with us. So we just have to start now without, wasting further time. Dr. Chris, I think I have to, give you the floor to commence your presentation so that we'll try as much as we can to meet up with the time because 30 minutes is already gone. So please, you may now start, Dr. Chris.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kingsley. So I'm sending requests so I can share my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, so
Yes.
good evening from Japan. So today we'll be talking about the MEXT scholarship and so I'm trying to use the pointer. And I'll be talking about understanding the MEXT scholarship, choosing Japanese university and supervisors, research proposal and guidance, and academic excellence and study experience in Japan. So my name is Christian Iberianyo. So, so first, so understanding the MEXT scholarship. So the MEXT itself is the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, which is MEXT. It is funded by the Japanese government through the Ministry of Education, the same name, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology. It is a fully funded scholarship, which means that you don't have to pay anything, a dime. So it's totally free. And this is one of the reasons why it is highly competitive. So everybody loves free things. So because it is free, a lot of people try to get it. So the scholarship covers full tuition, uh, full tuition fees. You don't have to pay school fees, monthly stipend, flight ticket to Japan, and if you wanna go back home, also they provide the flight tickets. Sometimes they provide Japanese language training, which yeah is common, and the research support and academic opportunities. So for the MEXT scholarship, there are different type of there are different category that's available for the different applicants. There are scholarship for undergraduates, that is people seeking for bachelor's degree. There are a scholarship for research students, masters, and doctoral researcher, which is the PhD. And there is a College of Technology and Specialized Training. So most Nigerians usually go for this research student, masters or PhD. Why the College of Technology and Specialized Training are like vocational studies, whereby you spend 3 years. The first year is like mandatory Japanese uh school, mandatory Japanese, you learn Japanese because this program is run in Japanese. The specialized training or the vocational studies. In the next 2 years, you now actually go for this study. So for MEXT scholarship, like I said previously, it is highly competitive, and because it's competitive, there are some certain features or characteristics which MEXT will be expecting people to show before they can be considered. So they are not looking for people that are perfect, not perfect people. They are looking for students with clear goals, students with academic seriousness. It's not for any other person. You can't just be anyhow and say you want to go for mix. It doesn't work that way. So they're looking for people that have clear goals, uh, academic seriousness. They have research potential. If you are not good in terms of research, you can improve that, but you have to show the desire to do that. So research potential is very important. You must have a leadership mindset because when you are a MES scholar, you are technically an ambassador of Nigeria. So you have to show good leadership mindset, and people can contribute to society after graduation. Like maybe you go back to Nigeria, and what you've learned in Japan, you try to implement them in Nigeria as well. So these are the kind of stuff MEX are actually looking for. So some applicants just want the scholarship, or I want my scholarship, or it is free, the money that is involved. So, but it doesn't always work that way. Everybody wants free stuff, But there are some things you have to show that will make the Japanese government to say, okay, this person is worthy of getting this scholarship. So, but first makes want to know why you want to come to Japan. You must be able to explain to them why you want to come to Japan. Why don't you go to China? Why don't you go to South Korea or North Korea? So, why do you choose Japan? You must have a substantial reason. Don't just copy stuff from the internet and paste there. Oh, you have to make it more personalized. Why are you doing this research? Among all the research, why are you doing this research? And what impact with your work creates, which is the significance of your study, which is very, very important. So they look at all these things before they can maybe, oh, this person can be considered for this scholarship. So there are two pathways to MEXT to get this scholarship. We have uh the university recommendation. We have the embassy recommendation. For the university recommendation, it's quite common for PhD students. So in this one, you first of all approach a supervisor, and when the supervisor accepts you to supervise your work, for example, you make your master's or your PhD, then you apply through the that university. So the university will be the one to recommend you to MEX for this scholarship. University recommendation is almost like, let me say 100%, like 100%, all things being equal. Once the school have selected you, the chance of you getting the MEX scholarship is almost like 100%. So this is quite common for maybe doctoral researchers and maybe master students as well. But the embassy recommendation is where you prepare your document and you send it to your embassy, to the Nigerian embassy in Abuja. After the embassy evaluates your document, they can now invite you for interviews. From there, they select the people that they are going to recommend for the scholarship. Once the embassy recommends you, then you now, I think they have the options doing the form. When you're applying the form, you have options of choosing which university you want to go. Maybe three university, you give example. And after you have been selected by the embassy, then they can now maybe send it to this school or this school like that. But the university recommendation, that university that is recommending you automatically becomes the university you are going to study. So these two pathways are the easiest for me. I think the university recommendation, but it is quite difficult to get a supervisor. So, but if you're able to get a supervisor, it is much easier. But for undergrad, I don't think undergrad must be through the embassy recommendation. So we have the university recommendation, the embassy recommendation. So these two pathways is the only way you can get the MEX scholarship from Nigeria. So the second part is choosing universities. Oh, okay. Yeah, choosing universities, Japanese university and supervisor. So this is very important. Like it's one of the most important aspects of the whole thing. So when you're going to decide a university, people choose university randomly. They just put on Google and choose randomly, but it doesn't help your application. Let's say, for example, you're conducting a research on, let me say, water, and you look for a university or a laboratory whereby what they're working there is on air, for example. It doesn't correlate. So that's will halt your application process. So when you're choosing university, choose university based on your research interest, the strength of the laboratory which you wish to join. So you have to search on the internet which university, what kind of research. My research, is it in line with what they are doing in this laboratory? What facility is available? Availability of facility, it should be much problem because once the lab is doing something that is similar to your work, there must be instruments or equipment that you can use for your research. What kind of publication is done in this lab? So from the publication, you can know the kind of research they're doing in that lab. And is this laboratory in line with your future goals? So when you in trying to get a university to find a supervisor, this is mainly for university recommendation actually, is you can make use of some free sites like Google Scholar. If you go to Google Scholar, maybe you search scholar.google.com and your research topic, you can put maybe some keywords from your research topic on Google Scholar and you put some keyword, maybe Japan. You are going to see research that are maybe similar to what you intend to do. So from there, you can actually get to check the laboratory or the professor in charge of that lab, and you can now send them emails.
Okay.
Another easy way is to go to the university website, which is very, very
Navigate.
easy. So in the university website, for example, University of Tokyo, you search University of Tokyo, you go to their faculty, and you see the different laboratories that are in the University of Tokyo. So which laboratory that is in line with what you want to do, then you can now reach out to that laboratory. And sometimes as a researcher myself, I could have done a work, maybe I did it like 3 years ago, but my current interest might have shifted from that kind of research. So it's best to look for their recent publication from that laboratory or from that university that you are interested in going. When you look for their recent publication, you have an idea of the current area in which this laboratory are maybe they are currently working on current research. So once you get two of their three recent papers, then you cannot write a professional and personalized email. Most people always copy email from online. They just copy verbatim and paste. This can easily be detected. And now that we have the era of ChatGPT, which is very good to help you draft a good email, you can use it, draft a good professional and personalized email based on your own personal experience. You can edit it and now use it. What they are looking for is in that email is you have to tell them who you are. What is your academic background? My name is blah blah blah. This is your background. Why their research interests you? This you get it from the 2 to 3 recent papers from that laboratory. So you talk about what they are doing in that lab, and you now have your own idea how it connects to that laboratory and why you are applying for MEXT. So when a professor receives such kind of email and is interested in you, then he's going to reply. And when you get a supervisor, your chance of getting a scholarship is almost like guaranteed. In Japan, professors usually look at some from your right up, they can know your tune. So they like to people that are humble. In Japan, is humility. Everyone is humble. Everyone is like equal. Clarity of your email, the seriousness and respectfulness and preparation. So you must avoid long emotional stories in your email. "Oh, I'm suffering in Nigeria. My father is this, my father is none of their business." So you have to be more professional, keyword, and personalize. So this helps you to choose your supervisor or your uh, university. So for research proposal, which is the third thing I'm talking about. So research proposal is very, very important. I feel something I feel is the most important aspect of your application. Is the most important aspect. Because if you are developing a plan or you're writing a proposal and it doesn't make sense to the people that are evaluating it, then there's no way you're gonna get it. You're going to get the scholarship. So a simple structure of a plan should have a topic. First, a topic. Your topic have to be concise. Some people don't know how to write a research topic. A research topic should be concise. When somebody look at it, somebody can understand what you are trying to do. Some people use generate topic. Maybe they say uh something Africa is just too broad. You can't study the entire Africa, it's too broad. So your topic has to be more specific. Maybe effects of air pollution in specific place. So your topic has to be concise and specific. Broad topic doesn't sell. And then you now have your background where you explain the problem and the issue that you are trying to solve. So you have to establish this background clearly. If the background is not clear, in the background, you have to show what people have done. Okay, that comes in the research gap. So you have to show what people have done and how your work is different or an update or an extension or a novel, or that means you just literally have to show the novelty of your work. What makes your work new? What makes your work important? You have to demonstrate it in your research gap. So person have done this. So person have observed this. Now you've identified a gap in knowledge, which whereby you are trying to fill that gap in knowledge. So this is part of the research gap. Then from this research gap, you have your aim and objective. So if you have identified the limitations in other studies, a knowledge gap. Now your aim is to fill the knowledge gap. So the aim of your study should be in line with the topic of your study. Then you have your objectives. Objectives are the different parts of your of your plan, whereby when you complete those objectives, you have actualized the aim of this research of your research. Then you have your methodology, which you have to for MEXT application, the space is quite small. So you have to keep your methodology as concise and clear. Clear clarity is very, very important. Let it be easy for somebody not in your field to be able to look at your plan and be able to understand what you are trying to do. And the expected outcomes, what I usually do in my cases, for expected outcomes, I have to write the expected results I'm trying to get from each of the objective. Maybe first objective is that determine the effect of heavy metals in lungs. So the expected outcome would be maybe data, for example, data on heavy metal effects in lungs. So I try to match my expected outcome to my objective, to my objective. And one of the key things is that you should not propose something impossible to finish within the scholarship duration. So you don't go write a plan that would require 10 years to complete. It's not possible. So you have to think about the time frame of your scholarship and you have to align your research plan in that time frame. So your research proposal should be clear, it should be relevant. Relevant is maybe you wanted to do, you are proposing a plan whereby other researchers have done it. Maybe many researchers have done it, so it has no meaning. It is irrelevant. Your plan should be logical, not some imagination. Something that can actually be achievable, that can be done, which is feasible, and also the impact of your work, which is the significance of your study. So what makes a strong proposal? A strong proposal usually shows innovation, which is the novelty, real world relevance, whereby you can apply it in the real sense. Your methodology is very clear. It's not ambiguous because good methodology means that your work can be reproducible. If it's not reproducible, then there's something wrong with the methodology. And alignment with Japanese research trend. Japan have their own interests also, as with other countries when it comes to research. So Japan values practical and impactful research. So the fourth part is the academic excellence and study experience in Japan. Myself, I came to Japan through MEX and I'm still doing research in Japan currently. So Japan is academically excellent. I can say authoritatively, Japan is academically excellent, and the research environment here is well structured. Japan is well structured. Everything is done step by step, step by step. Same thing. If it's the same thing, everybody will do the same thing step by step. It is disciplined, it is advanced, and it is collaborative. It is advanced and collaborative. And in Japan, you have access to modern laboratories. Like when I was in Nigeria, when I was conducting research in Nigeria, sometimes we have samples whereby we have to send it to maybe the north, to Zaria, to a different lab before we can get results. So we spend a lot of time waiting and waiting before we can get results. But in Japan, most times in the laboratory, you have everything there. You have as you prepare your sample, you're analyzing immediately. So there's high-end instruments, and you have international collaborators. You make friends from different parts of the world. They are also on scholarship or they are students in the same laboratory or university as yourself. So there's this collaboration, and you get chance to travel for conferences, which is easier from Japan, maybe compared to traveling from Nigeria. So, but I will be honest with you that studying in Japan requires adjustments. It is not the way maybe you operate previously, and you're going to operate the same way in Japan. It doesn't work. So in Japan, you have to time management is very key. You have to stick to time. Everything is done on time basis. In the same line, you have to be disciplined. You have to show independence. You have to be able to work on your own, and you must have these good communication skills. In Japan, we have what we call honor and entertainment. So in Japan, we try to smile as much as possible. As if you're annoyed, you try to keep it to yourself. So we are trying to maintain a peaceful environment. So communication skills and how you communicate your situation is very, very important because sometimes language and culture may feel difficult initially, but when you're open and you're consistent, you will adapt. So my personal advice is that do not come to Japan only to get a degree. So come to Japan to build yourself, your skills, your network, to publish good and quality research, and to grow professionally and represent Nigeria positively, which is very, very important because your attitude matters a lot. If you're on MEXT scholarship and you come to this country and you mess up, it can impact the amount of Nigeria that they are allowed to come to Japan via the same route, via the same scholarship. So as a Nigerian on this scholarship, you are an ambassador of Nigeria in Japan. So you have to maintain good attitude always. So my final note is that so everyone that is listening today, that please do not underestimate yourself. It is very, very competitive, but it is achievable. So many Nigerians are doing exceptionally well in Japan today across science, engineering, medicine, AI, agriculture, and many other fields. So if you prepare properly and you are focused and you apply strategically, it is possible for you to get the scholarship as well. MEXT is very, very competitive. It is one of the best scholarships in the world, but it is very, very achievable. So thank you very much, and I'll be looking out to your questions during the Q&A section. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chris, for your insightful presentation. So, guys, our next speaker is Dr. Clement. Dr. Clement obtained his PhD from the Graduate School of Engineering, Hokkaido University, Japan. And Dr. Clement, was also a MEXT scholar from 2018 to 2023. Dr. Clement will be speaking to us on application procedures and also documentations and also what it entails, the processes of, document submissions and embassy screening process, interview preparation tips, and also life here in Japan as a MEXT scholar. Please welcome Dr. Clement. You have the floor, please. Please, let's keep to 15 minutes. Our time has been fast spent. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kinsley. So, I will not be sharing PowerPoint, so I will just go straight and be brief about the what I will said about the MEXT scholarship. So, I think Dr. Chris have said a lot about it. As he mentioned, so MEXT scholarship has a two route, which is embassy recommendation and university recommendation. So for me, I came through university recommendation. The process and the documentation are almost similar, except that for university recommendations, you need first to seek the consent of your professor who will be a supervisor. So for the process, embassy recommendation always start earlier depends on the embassy. For Nigeria, it is always between May and then application start. The call for application always started by May and ended June, first week of June or second week. Then for university recommendation, so the application always call for application always start by November, December, depends on the university, and it is always within 14 working days. So if you are interested to apply for the embassy for university recommendation, you must have known the process and then get all the required document ready, because the university recommendations is called for all the international students across all the world. So they close the application start and then close so fast to close the gap, because they always receive a lot of applicants. So the procedure for embassy recommendation, which many of you joining this screen may be interested, include first, the embassy always release the call. And then the second is you downloading and completing all the application form. The third is you are required to submit the document either in person or by posting. So because you must send the document to Japanese embassy in Nigeria in Matama. So you can send it through by going there by yourself or using courier service. The fourth one is you are required to take the exam, written exam. So after they review the document you submitted, they will shortlist the number of number of the applicant that merit the applications. Then after that, they will call for the exam, schedule for the exam, mostly within the ending of June or first week of July. The exam categories depends on the exam depends on the categories you're applying. But I think for PhD and for master and the PhD student, it requires having English and then the basic knowledge of Japanese. Then after the exam, the fifth one is that they will schedule interview. They will then mark the exam and then based on their classification, select a few students and then call for the interview. The sixth one, you need to pass the interview. And then the seventh, obtain a provision acceptance form from the university, Japanese university, which you submitted, which you included in your application. The eighth one is then the final MEXT selection. So even if you pass, even if your embassy select you, there's a probability that the MEXT will drop you. So, but just like Chris mentioned, so the university recommendation is more easier because if the university accept, if the professor accepts you, there's a 100% possibility that you get the MEXT. But for embassy recommendation, even if the embassy recommend you, MEXT may drop you based on the quota. Each country has a quota per year. I think Nigeria, during our time, total, both the embassy recommendation and the university recommendation were about 13. So it is a more very competitive. And then the final one is to receive the scholarship result and then the guide for how to go with your visa application. So it may interest you that a Japanese visa is not that expensive like US or other. So you don't have to worry about how to, they will guide you. I think MEXT also covers everything. MEXT pay for visa application and everything. So for the documentation, the document you may need for master and the PhD include first, you need to complete the application form, then the academic transcript, your certificate or expected graduation certificate. So even if you are still undergraduate or if an year student who may get their their graduation certificate by the end of then you are allowed to apply it. And then a recommendation letter from any person within your field, your teacher for those applying for undergraduate, then lecturers from your institution, then certificate of health, a medical certificate completed by medical doctor, then passport, research plan, which is very important, then a placement preference form, which include the university that you may be interested to go. Then the final one is a language proficiency. So for Nigerians, you may not require them to get all this language proficiency exam. For me, in my university in Ebonyi State, so I can easily obtain. It is well noted that almost all schools in Nigeria use English as a medium of instruction. So what you can do is request from their university to issue the document certifying that your program was undertaken by using English. So that is all. For undergraduate, is almost the same. The application method, application document is almost the same. So for undergraduate, you are required to get the academic record from your secondary school, and then the WAEC result, the recommendation and others. So which for undergraduate is mostly English, mathematics, Japanese, and then the science subject. That is all for the documentation. So for the interview, so within the embassy, they are expecting a lot from you because a lot of persons are interested, and then they receive a lot of application, and it is always difficult to screen and select at least 20 people for the first interview. So what they are looking at mostly is academic ability and motivation. Even though I've received a lot of questions whether a second class lower can apply. Yes, you can apply. So it's not merely for first class or second class upper. So your motivations, if someone is talking with you, if they are talking with you, they need to see that motivation that you are actually ready for this, not the type that you will want other persons to write a research plan and develop it for you. So the second part is they want to know why of all the country you choose Japan. So this intends that your research plan should be logically, and then the expectation should be things that the Nigeria can gain, and then the Japanese government can also be benefit after your MEXT scholars, after the period of your study. Then the knowledge of your proposed field of study. They want to see that actually you can provide something out of the period of your research. Not, you need to have the knowledge of what I want to do this. I'm sure of the result, because they want to just like as Chris mentioned. So studying in Japan is actually stressful because a lot of it's not like Nigeria that you go to school as a student, even both as a master and a PhD student, you are required to be going to school. Even so, you can stay in the lab. Sometimes I stay in the lab for up to 12 midnight before I go home. So all this, you need to be ready you need to be sure and know your research plan, the detail, what the expectations and things you need to do to guide yourself, because mostly the professors have a lot of things to do. They will only follow you. You will lead and they follow you. They follow your step. They are only there to guide you, to advise you. But every other things you need to do by yourself. You need to develop the research, the plan, and show to them. They will do corrections and then guide you. So during the interview, most of them want to see that willingness in you, and then your communications scale also, and then whether you can actually adapt in Japan, because there are a few persons I know who drop their master, who drop the MEXT, even after they come to Japan, they couldn't survive based on other things emotionally, and Japan is a bit close country. So all these things, they want to know whether you can actually survive. Because I know a friend who, after he came to Japan and then he said, I can't cope. He then dropped and withdraw from the MEXT. So all these things has already caught the opportunity from other persons. So they want to know whether you can survive, and also how your study will benefit your home country and after graduation, and also Japan, as I mentioned. So you need to be, if they can easily detect that you are ready by merely watching you to answer some of the questions they will ask you. The interview is not that difficult, but just a normal things, but they need to see the motivations in you, in your body language, your communication skills, your readiness to do all these things. So the common way, the common questions is all about all this thing I mentioned. Tell us about yourself. Why do you choose to study in Japan? Your academic strength and the weakness. Remember that all these the people that we interview are they have done this many times. They know, they can easily detect when you are they can easily detect your ability and their willingness to join the MEXT for your readiness to undergo this MEXT process. So from the website, you can download the past questions, mostly English and Japan. They know that you don't have, many of you don't have a Japanese language skill, but your motivations, they want to see you try that. I have this interest to learn, because it's not all about going to Japan to do master. They also want you to integrate with the society, because if you can't learn Japanese, it may be difficult for you to survive. So they want to see that motivations in you, that you are actually ready to integrate with the Japanese and then their cultures. So I think Chris has shared about the tip for success through the research. So the most important document the embassy will check is mostly your research plan, because a lot of people has a good result already, and only your research plan is what they will concentrate. And also this why you want to go to Japan. That document is very important. So you must feel and then write it logically to at least impress them to pass the first screening. So the other things is the life in Japan. So life in Japan as a MEXT scholar is beautiful, challenging, and just like a normal life everyone's live. So I'm encouraging you all to do your best. And MEXT scholarship is very rich. The Japanese professors are ready to help and willing to teach you all the time with your colleague and every other persons and Nigerians here. So do your very best to pass the screening. So for the if you are afraid of how to select the professor, I think I have a compiled list of the Japanese university that are willing to accept. So I will share that file with Kingsley. So if you're interested, you can ask for it. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Dr. Clement, for your practical insights. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Mr. Sullivan Edan. Sullivan is a PhD student and teaching assistant at the University of Kentucky, USA. And he's also a former MEXT scholar here in Japan. He will speak on his MEXT experience while he was in Japan, and also how MEXT assisted him in securing a PhD opportunity in the United States. And also, he will also give some insight on how graduate school preparation will also afford you some kind of international opportunities post-graduation. Please join me as I welcome Mr. Sullivan. Sullivan, you have the floor, please.
All right. Good morning from here. My name is Sullivan Edan, as have already been introduced. And ndị be anyị asị ka nkenekwu unu get n'ihe ndị Igbo ka a na-eme, so we just need to put a little bit of it in water. I'll be sharing a few slides with us, just in please help me confirm whether you can see this.
Yes, please, go on.
All right. First, I'll be speaking about how to my experience. There's just more of a story I'm asked here to tell, because my brothers here have already done justice on what MEXT scholarship is, how you're going to prepare. More of what I'll be talking about will be about how it's going to help you even if you don't plan to stay there for a long time, right? And also what it means to study there and what you expect to see what to experience. First is a brief background of myself. I did mass communication in a suit, yes. I get this question many times. People who are not from the science field, they're always very afraid. They are always very skeptical of their chance of being accepted, right? Is it just for science students? So I'm a practical example here that a non-science student can also get the scholarship, right? I did my bachelor's degree in a suit. And then as I started my youth service, while I was doing my youth service, that was the time I was doing the application. So I was serving and I was also applying. So 2 months after my NYC, I left, right? I joined the Tokyo International University to do my master's degree and using the MEXT scholarship. I used the embassy route, so I might not have much experience to talk about the university routes, even though I know people that use that particular channel. And currently I'm here in United States. It's my morning here, so you guys kept me awake for me to be here. And one thing I want to tell you is that beyond funding, we've talked about how much is going to give you funding that's going to be free, they're going to pay for your flight, and you are going to get stipends every month, right? Beyond that, it can also be a platform for you to grow in every field of your life, in your personal experience, in your academic experience. And it could also give you an international exposure. You know how things works, right? We are Nigerians, right? We're used to how we do things at home. And this channel, this will also give you that experience, the opportunity to see life beyond how we see it, how we see things work in Nigeria. And if it give you a professional network that you could easily utilize them in future to do whatever you need to do with it, which are of course the good ones, right? And it will give you a global opportunity for you to launch many things you need to do. We have Nigerians, even in Japan, that are doing exceptionally well, that are no longer even in the field of research. Some of them came as a MEXT scholars and now they're doing other things. Some of them are working in a think tank, some of them are establishing their own companies in Japan. So don't see it only as for people that wants to be researchers. Yes, that's the primary thing you're going to do, and we must do it very well. But when you are done, the opportunities there are limitless. You can actually pursue other things that might interest you, right? Our interest changes with information and the background and the experiences we see. So this is not just about the funding, it could also prepare you to other global opportunities. And it will also give you that international credibility of, okay, I've been here, I've worked here, I've been with this professor, I've done this research, like Dr. Christian was trying to tell us, right? Japan is known for how good they do their thing. If they tell you they're going to do something, they're surely going to do it. And that also goes to do with research, right? So they do a very solid work. And if you have that experience of working with some of those researchers, you know that some of them are renowned researchers all over the world. So that will give you that credibility that for you to have worked with this lab, for you to have worked with this uni, that means there's something that those universities see in you that can also cut across so many other areas, right? And it will expose your research interest, so it will expose your research experience in so many other ways. And you also get to see how other cultures work, right? They talked about how Japan are very respectful, and I'll give that to them, right? I've been out of Japan for months now, and I could actually tell the difference, right? So it's it will give you so many other opportunities that are bound, right? Then to the other thing I'm asked to talk about here, which is my academic experience, and I just want to show us some good pictures because I want to motivate you. I know we like these kind of things. The doctor Amago talked about how he used to sleep and wake up in the lab, stay 12 a.m. And I don't want you guys to be afraid. Don't be frightened. Of course, I'm going to do it, but then there are also other perks around it, right? That's why I want to. I just added some of these pictures now as he was speaking, right? So it wasn't part of what I wanted to share. But I just wanted to encourage us that, okay, maybe if this picture is going to motivate you to put in this work, please use it and do it, right? And my academic experience there is that I evolved better. I got better by associating with is normal, right? When you change your background, when you change your environment, when you get to work with other people, you automatically get to new information, explore more opportunities, and then launch yourself based on what you want to do. It also help you to study independently, to do something on your own. And you can also get work, right? One thing about Japan is that even as a med scholar, you have this time that you can also use it to do some things, can also work, right? So you can have that working experience in some companies, right? It's not that you're going there to work, but you have, I think it's 12 hours or something like that, that you can also use, right, to also get to see how things work, even beyond the school environment. And Japan will give you that uh, opportunity to see how other professors actually treat their students. Personally, I do not have a bad experience with the Nigerian professors. I have to say it. I say it everywhere I am. But I have heard stories, I've seen people talk about how they are even very afraid to approach the professors. I still have good relationship, good contact with my Nigerian professors. They are good people, excellent ones. But then you also see how other professors work. You can't still compare it to how Japanese professors will treat you professionally, but then very respectful. And you see how structured academic system works. You don't need anybody to maybe Nigerian class rep. That doesn't work, right? You see how school, how academics, how works, how country, how life is meant to be structured. You also have access to international conferences. You can go outside Japan to make your presentation and come back. All this is trying to build your portfolio, trying to build who you are. Then, if you don't talk about challenges, it will appear as if there is none, right? There's few challenges. The one of language, because outside your school, you need to talk with the people, right? That's why uh the previous speaker emphasized on Japanese language, right? You need that to interact. And then even I had a friend that he's still in Japan, I think in Hokkaido, no, Nagoya. No, I think Nagoya, somewhere like that. So the school, even the professor are not that very fluent in English, right? I know it might sound somehow to us that, oh, this person is a professor, they can't speak English. Research is not about the language, right? Research is systematic, so you can use any language to do a solid work. So the man is not very even fluent in English, so he finds this problem of even interacting with his professor using English language. So that's also a challenge that might be faced. But these challenges are not something you cannot overcome, right? You can actually get through it. Just have it at the back of your mind. You could see some differences in culture, the way they communicate, the way they expect you not to answer phone or make call while you're on train, all those things. It might look strange when you start, right? But then you get to adapt, you get to do things better, you get to do things in their way, and you are going to enjoy it, right? Next is how MEXT work can also help you to do other things, right? I finished my master's in Japan. I had the opportunity of doing a PhD. My school also gave me their own funding, right? When you finish your master's using MEXT, there's a window for you to also continue doing your PhD using MEXT. But I had this opportunity of my school also giving me their own school scholarship, right? So I knew I was going to, because I had this interaction with my professors and all, and then I knew I was going to leave. I started making that plans, getting them to refer me and all, right? those recommendation letters and all. So I knew that if I choose to work with MEXT, right, that means I will not be able to finish it. And it will not, like he said, you are going to be the image of Nigeria. So I decided to continue with my school-funded scholarship for PhD for a few months, being that they are aware that I might leave, right? So I now got a PhD in US. I then had to thank them for the opportunity and then leave. In cordial relationship, we still talk, right? Even my school still, last month, the school sent me an email to know how I'm doing, right? So these are the things you get from this type of country that you don't actually need to miss. So if you're applying for a PhD to United States from Nigeria, and someone else is applying from Japan, for instance, and they're studying in Nigeria and they're studying in Japan, you study in Nigeria, they can actually don't quote me wrong, right? You could be accepted no matter where you're applying from. But that opportunity of being accepted when you have also had the experience of working with other professors, right? Other environment, other cultures are higher. Here in my school, I have people that come from South Korea, people that come from Japan. I tend to ask, like, imagine maybe that's one of the requirements that I may actually ask. And one of this is that some professors that will send your recommendation letter, right? Because when I was applying for my PhD here, I told my professors in Japan to write recommendation for me, and they did. So and these guys are known, right? So I'm not saying that Nigerian professors are not known, no, but then you might not be able to maybe put them together, right? You might not put them in the same pedestal. So those guys might be more known, and some of them are studied in the United States. Some of them are from the United States, right? So when they write for you, they might rate them higher, right? They might have that prejudice to also say, okay, if this person is writing, maybe you can also get one from Nigeria, a professor in Nigeria to also write for you. This person is writing about this person from Nigeria, this person is writing from the person from Japan. You will have that edge. It will also strengthen your CV, right? You have that edge of, okay, so many people are talking about you, right? And then those experiences will strengthen your CV. Because while I was in Japan, I also did a teaching assistant, right? So it will strengthen both your application, you have this experience of working both in Nigeria and also teaching in Nigeria and also teaching in another country, not just a country but Japan, right? It will strengthen your application. It also boosts your research profile. It will make you more competitive, right? It will be easier for you to get that done. And so it could also be a stepping stone for people that maybe your interest or you prefer to study or live in another country, United States, for instance, being with the policy Nigeria have now, you don't need to wait until that ban is lifted before you make that move. You can actually do it now. And I can tell you, one of the beautiful experiences I've had is in Japan, right? I'm enjoying my stay in United States, of course, but then those things I enjoyed in Japan that is not here. And I'll practically be visiting Japan very soon. And thank God I have my ogas here, right? So if I want to go back to Japan, I have people that can welcome me. If I want to stay for 1 month, right? I know where to stay. Do you get? So these are things you don't need to wait until maybe I don't want to go to Japan, I don't want to speak Japanese. Don't be discouraged, right? Just do it. And I don't know whether I'm running out of time, right? And then you also get to uh speak, present your research, go to many conferences. I've talked about recommendation letter. It will improve academic writing. All these things matter. All these things are what people look out for, right? They will look at your CV and one other things I need to touch before I will leave because of time is that MEXT scholarship is open. Embassy recommended. It's ending June. I think June 6th or 8th, right? So this is the best time for you to do that application. This is best time for you to apply. And when you are, this is the best time for you. It's better time for you to do the application. If you have younger ones, don't wait and then be expecting this is the best time. Just take this opportunity. I could tell you for a fact that the person that actually helped me to get this scholarship is here. And I never knew him until I started doing the application, right? So you don't need to isolate yourself. Go out there. I've got a lot of messages, a lot of people asking me about it, asking questions. About four of them have already sent the application, right? Last year, I was able to help two people, not like look at what they are doing, right? And then the same thing applies to so many people here. So go out there and reach out to people, ask questions, don't isolate yourself. And you see that people are willing to help you, right? But you need to put in the work. One thing about us is that we like things to be done for us. Oh, I want to go to Japan. Please, can you help me do the research proposal? Can you help? Everybody's busy, right? So I'm not sure anybody here will be able to start writing proposal for you. But they could also be free to proofread your work. They could also be free to review it. Once they see that passion, once they see that seriousness in you, they'll be able to review it, tell you, okay, this is right. Why not do this? Why don't you want to do this? Try this and all. And even after the first selection, because like I said, I'll be talking based on my experience as a embassy recommended scholar, right? So after the first documentation, when you submit your application, they'll select you guys for exam. Even in that exam stage, you need to talk to people to tell you, okay, this is what to do, this is how to approach the exam. After the exam, you go for an interview, right? We were around 50 something that were selected for the exam. After we are around 8 that went for an interview, right? So, and 8 of us succeeded, right? So, even when you want to go for an interview, you need to also talk to people. One guy, right? I think he's from Abia, right? That I was talking with. Then he was selected. He got to time of interview. Uh, I was telling him, let's just have a mock interview. He was like, no, I'm right. But then, unfortunately, I'm not saying that's why he wasn't selected, but unfortunately, he wasn't been able to select it. So also don't take anything for granted, right? So there are some questions they will be asking you that you might not know. And these are the things they're expected to hear from you. You are going there for research purposes. So they're going to test your research skill. They're not expecting you to know everything now, but there are some primary things, there are some little things they're expecting you to know, right? Those things are just something you need to know. So if they ask such question and you don't know what's your research question, what's your research topic, why are you interested in Japan, those few but important questions you might think is not very consequential, is not that important for you, just answer it anywhere you want. But with that, they have already flagged you, right? And remember that these people want to invest a lot of money in you, right? That nobody wants to waste their money. And we are talking about thousands of US dollars, right? Thousands of yen. So, and they're going to be paying you every month. They're going to pay for your scholarship. So why should they give that money? Why should they put that money in you? It's not a joke, right? So you must convince them that out of everybody that's saying that you need to be invested in that, this money should be invested in you, right? So you need to take it serious and then prepare in every stage for you to be able to defend that. And I think that's just it for now, and I'll be ready to attend to any question. Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot to mention one thing. So, just as Stephen was talking, I remember. So, there's an important things you need to know. Everything during the interview, everything you may answer should match the information in your document. So that's why you need to do this in by yourself, because I remember some persons always ask for help. At the end, they forgot. They may not even go through the information after. So all the information you share with the embassy officer who may be interviewed should match with the every information you fill in their form, starting from your academic record, your age, then your interest, everything. Because as I mentioned, a lot of persons are applying, so they can easily find an error to drop you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sullivan. Thank you, Dr. Clement, for that additional input. I think from my own side, my colleagues, they have said everything. I think I just have to mention a few more things. That is the career opportunities after MEXT. After MEXT, what next? For instance, you came in with, 2 years master's program and MEXT scholarship. Then after that, what next? Or you came in with 3 years PhD scholarship. Then after that, what next? These are some of the questions you could ask yourself, internally. What do I really want to do with my time post-graduation? Do I want to remain in academia? Do I want to join industry? Do I want to go back to Nigeria? Do I want to remain in Japan? So I think it's more of a personal question. You just have to ask yourself, what do I want to do post-graduation? And another thing is about AI leadership and global opportunities. This is an era of artificial intelligence. I think in your choosing whatever you want to study in Japan, it's also important for you to choose something that is relevant. You do not have to choose, anything just for choosing sake. Just because you want to go to Japan through MEXT scholarship, you just choose any course. You must choose something that is relevant post-graduation, something that has, potential to give you, job offers, after you might have graduated. So these are some of the important things I must add, here. And also another one is about the greatest benefit of MEXT. I think one of the greatest benefit of MEXT scholarship is about, global opportunities it comes with. In your program, in your class, in your university, you meet students from other parts of the world. Oftentimes, I used to tell people that this diploma we receive from university is not enough. But what is important is the network you've built while going to this or while attending those universities. Because post-graduation, you need those networks. Those networks often recommend you to jobs, to other opportunities that you may ordinarily not get just from being a MEXT scholar. But that MEXT scholar will expose you, give you the platform to meet other students from different parts of the world. So that is a very big platform for you to get exposed to other, folks from different parts of the world. And our time has been far, far spent, although we started somehow late. And then I sincerely apologize for that. But now I think it's time for us to go into the Q&A session. We've received a lot of questions even before this program commenced, but I was able to summarize some of these questions based on the presentations my colleague made. But there are also some questions that are general that I may be able to put, generally to my colleagues. They may be able to provide answers to those questions. But before I do that, I do not know if there is anybody here who has any question he or she may want to ask. Let's give the people who attended this session, the first-hand opportunity to ask questions. Please, if you do have any question to ask, please, can you do so by raising your hand? I see one individual. Yes, please, Chinechere, please, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Make it brief, please.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Chinechere. I'm currently in Nigeria right now, but I'm almost done with my PhD in nursing. I'm a nurse, and I've been going through the program, and I don't know which one I'm fit in. Like the one for PhD, I'm already almost done with my PhD. And I'm asking, is the research, is it separate, or are you going to do it as a graduate study if it's master's or PhD again? Thank you.
Sorry if I understand your question properly. You are coming here for what program? You want to come in for master's or for another PhD program. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'm almost done with my PhD. I'm asking, do they have separate research program only for researchers, or you must take a master's? Like for me, I have my master's already, like taking another master's or taking PhD again. I want to know. Or is there any separate
Yeah, I got
program
your
for
question.
researchers?
Do you have any specific presenter that you would like him to respond to your question? Do you have any person here? Dr. Chris is here, Dr. Clement is here, and Sullivan is also here. Who do you want to respond to?
Anybody,
Anybody can do so.
anybody that,
Dr. Chris, are you
yeah,
still with us,
yeah.
please?
Yes, I'm still here.
Please, can you respond to her? She's asking, in summary, she's already a PhD student somewhere in Nigeria. And now she's asking,
Not in Nigeria.
where?
Not in Nigeria. In the Philippines.
Okay, in the Philippines. She's in the Philippines. Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
No, I'm not. I came back to Nigeria for holidays. I'm in Nigeria currently now.
All right, but she's currently a PhD student somewhere, and she's asking, must she go through the route of master's or PhD to get to Japan through MEXT? Or is there a specific research program that MEXT also funds that she can also go through? I don't know if that's is what she's asking, but I think that's exactly what she's
I,
asking.
I
Yeah,
think
that's it.
I think the best is because if you are going through masters again, or maybe you are trying to change your field, but you could still do masters if your age still allows you, and you can decide
Yeah.
to go for PhD also. It's your choice. I know people that have
And
two
I'm still in my
master's degree.
20s.
What did you say?
I say I'm still in my 20s, so the age is not a barrier.
Okay, so you can go for if you want masters. I have a friend that did masters in China, then again another master in Japan. So it's your choice. The scholarship is free. So you could try for PhD if you want to do it again. You can go for masters if you want to do it again. So far you have the age, so you are allowed to do as you wish.
Thank you, Dr. Chris. Chima
Okay.
Achupu Franklin, what's your question, please?
All right, good morning, everyone. Please, can you hear me?
We can, go.
Okay, my question is about the age limits because I'm yet to own a degree for BSc. I'm just searching for undergraduate, so I want to know the age limits for undergraduates because right now I'm currently 28 years old.
Can you go to the chat box? I think Dr. Clement responded to that. Can you go to the chat box?
Okay. Yeah, I just saw it out now.
Yeah, the answers are there. And also, somebody with Oppo, what's your question, please? Oppo, mobile phone Oppo, what's your question? Unmute yourself, please.
Okay, good morning. Can you hear me?
Please go on.
Okay, sir. My name is Alali Desidepe Anthony. I'm talking from Nigeria. I'm currently working for Salem Bank. So my question goes this way. I graduated with HND degree. I don't know if this offer is available for me to do my master's in Japan. I think the HND at Japan. Studied at the Federal College of Agriculture.
You're currently having HND, right?
Yes.
All right. You're asking if HND, will use HND to apply for master's program in Japan, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Dr. Clement, please can you respond to him?
Yeah, I think it is allowed. So the way it, although the embassy, there is no specification of the degree. So I think anyone can apply, provided that you have all the required document. So for the embassy, for university recommendation, so that's how they calculate their. That's how they calculate their degree. I forgot the name they called it. So the way they do it is that they check the number of the years you spend to
Okay.
obtain your degree, and then check it equivalent with a Japanese educational system. That's how they calculate
Okay.
and then rent the student. So
okay, we that did the HND, we start with the OND for 2 years, then we'll go for industrial training for 1 year, then we'll go back to finish for extra 2 years to get the HND, which is equivalent to degree here in Nigeria.
yeah, I think that you are eligible to apply, provided that you have all the document, all the required document.
Okay. Okay, and the second, we have another question. I didn't get the question because my network was bad about the embassy route. I don't know if you could like it step by step, like because I would get the form and fill it and submit it. Can it be submitted via mail? That's what I was trying to get. Can it be submitted via mail, or I have to go to the embassy to submit it?
The application requires you download all the applications, then get all the necessary requirements. You need to submit it in person, so not by email, or you can submit it by yourself or submit it using a DHR service.
Yes.
So you cannot. They don't accept application by email. You must submit it by yourself in person, or you send any person to submit it. But there must be someone to handle the document to them.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much. Gideon, you have a question, please go on. Gideon, unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me?
Please go on.
Okay. My question is for the university route for masters. Is it possible to apply for different universities at the same time? Let's say you develop up to 2 or 3 proposals that are in relatively the same field. Can you apply for different universities at the same time, or you just apply to one and wait for that?
Sullivan, are you with us?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking about 14 working days. So is it that it's not proper to apply now, or we should just wait for that period when the university will call for the application?
Can you respond to him, Sullivan?
University recommended the recommendation.
Hmm.
I think I might not be in the best position to do this personally, right? Because I did embassy recommended.
All right. Let me try to respond to you, Gideon. The idea of having multiple application is not bad. It's not bad. You can submit your applications to different universities. If they so wish, they can recommend you. I don't think it's a bad thing to submit. Once you, like Dr. Chris said, you don't just write proposal randomly. You must align it with a professor, who may have interest to host you or to, accept you as his or her master's or PhD student. But submitting 2 applications at the same time through universities, I don't think is bad. But submitting 2 applications through MEXT, directly to MEXT, I think is bad. But to university individually, I don't think it's bad. But direct to MEXT, I think that is bad. However, what you need to do is to apply one time and wait for the outcome. If you align properly with a research proposal that is properly aligned with a particular university or a particular professor, I think you will stand more chance of, getting accepted or getting invited for an interview. But if you manufacture random proposals and send it to countless universities, there are also high chances that you may not even be invited for any interview. So thank you very kindly for your question.
Sorry, can I add something to the question? So the idea of 14 days is because the university recommendations is university recommendation is for all the students across all the country in the world. So that 14 years is to cut short the number of the applicant that may be sending their document. So, and for applying, so you can apply to different university, but for MEXT, one university must recommend you. So if you apply to 2 university and you got a recommendation from both, so you need to notify them that you are not interested as soon as possible, so that you will not waste the opportunity of another person's.
All right, thank you so much. I think that has addressed your question, Gideon. And also from the chat box, some people are asking the document required. I think Dr. Chris have also sent some links there. You can go through the link and also see the exact documents that are required. And also someone asked about what is it called? From the chat box, someone asked about age limit. I think Dr. Clement also responded to that previously. You can also go to the chat box and see answers to that question. Do we have any other individual here who may have any question? If not, I'll go to the questions we received before now. Sullivan, you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to say something real quick,
Go
right?
ahead.
Especially when you're trying to fill your university preference form, at this stage is important, but that's not very something to worry much because you still have that opportunity for you to select university again after you have been selected. You can actually choose university again after you have been selected. So done, and it's very rarely do we see someone who has been selected being refused by any university. Once a MEXT has accepted you to as a scholar, you have a different route of applying to universities, and 99% of the time you are going to get accepted by many universities. You have to choose. All of us that were selected by MEXT, we got more than 3 universities, so we had to make our choice at the very end. So don't worry too much about. Of course, your university you are selecting now should make sense. There should be some people or schools very close to what we are doing, but you still have the opportunity for you to also make another choice or choose a different university entirely when it's time for you to submit that preference form again, because you'll be asked to submit it again for the final time. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. For Gideon, for the university route is the submission through email or via courier. I think the best answer to that question, Gideon, go to university of your choice. Go to their homepage, go to their website, you see the specific requirement for application submissions and also how to approach supervisors. Visit the university of your interest, go to their website, you will see all these informations there. So somebody else said he has a question. Akam, are you here with us?
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Akami. Please, I want to ask, is passport part of the requirement for applying?
What do you mean passport?
Can you hear me? Like international passport. Must you have your international passport before you apply?
It's important you do have it. It's very important. For instance, you got shortlisted. How do you then go to Japan? So have it. So now,
Yeah, but if you don't have a passport, you can apply for with any document that can identify you. So there is also I think that you can apply with any document. Like they choose Nigeria have a different document of identification, but mostly passport is the most universal one. So you can apply with anyone you need while processing your passport. But because of the number of people applying, so if you don't have passport, they can easily drop you in at the embassy. But for university accommodation, they can consider you.
Thank you. Sullivan, you wanted to add something?
No, he's made justice to that. So you can actually use your like NIN or any certificate in Nigeria to apply. But once you've done the application, start processing your international passport. And I think it's is easier now to get it done during our time. So you need to put that into your bucket list of things you need to get. But it shouldn't deter you from submitting application.
All right, thank you. So the questions we received before now, Dr. Chris, are you with us? So this question goes to you. The person is asking, one of them is asking, what are the key qualities MEXT selectors? I think when he said selectors, he means MEXT application reviewers. What do they look for in a successful applicant? That is the first question. And another person asked you also, how do I identify and contact a suitable supervisor in Japan? Another person asked you also, what makes a research proposal stand out during the MEXT selection process? And the last person asked you, Dr. Chris, should applicants contact professors before or after applying for MEXT through embassy route?
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so the question is about, the first one is, if how do the examiner or reviewers, or what they'll be looking out for? So like in my presentation, I said that there are some specific stuff or specific key points which myself as a reviewer is going to look out for, which is the clarity, the feasibility of your work. There's some work that sound too ambiguous. It's just broad, it's too sweet, but it is not feasible. So we look at the feasibility of the work. Is this achievable? Is this, if it's for PhD, we try sometimes we check the background of this person. What are the previous research or publication this person has done? And from there we can ask, okay, can this person handle this kind of project or not? So basically, the work should be clear. It should be clear, it should be feasible, it should be understandable. The methodology should be reproducible. It has to be clear. Like clarity is so key. It has to be understandable. So that is what we look out for. Apart from, depending on the level of the scholarship, if it's for PhD, maybe the person cannot check the background of this person, if this person has some, because for you to get to PhD, you would have done masters, so you should have some publications. So they check this kind of your background, which is part of your CV, your application document, and that's so. The next question, if I can remember, please, what's the second question again, please? You are muted, Dr. Kingsley.
Sorry about that. The person did ask, how do I identify and contact a suitable supervisor in Japan?
Okay, I think I will have to share my screen again so I can just show that slide. Let me show it quickly. So how you identify, I explained previously. So how to identify your supervisor. First, you have to have your own research interest. But if you don't have research interest, no problem. If you are working in chemistry or environmental science, and maybe you have bachelor's already, from your bachelor research, you can look for researchers that are working in that similar area. So let's still come back to your own research interest. So when you have your research interest, you go to Google and search. Maybe copy that your research, the key points or the keywords from that research interest and put it on Google and put Japan universities. You're going to see a lot of researchers that are working in that field. When you identify some of those researchers, you can go to Google Scholar and search them. On Google Scholar, you're going to see the recent work, what they are doing recently. Because sometimes, like for example, if you start myself on, you might see some of the work I did like 3 years or 5 years ago. I'm no more interested in this kind of work. They are closed projects. So you have to go for recent, what are their recent publication? And again, when from the recent publication, you have to check. You have to be sure who you are looking for. Is the person the head of the lab? Because sometimes you can have a lab And in that lab, you have different people doing different research. And this person can add this one's name on that research. And when you see that recent paper, you might say this person is working in this field, and you're sending email based on that paper. And the person, no, I'm not working on this field. So you have to know the name of the person and maybe check like their first author publications. After you have identified like 2 to 3 publications, that's their recent papers, then you can now craft a mail, a professional and personalized email to that particular professor. In that email, you talk about who you are, what you've done academically. What they are doing. Maybe you mentioned, oh, I saw your paper, I saw your research on this, blah blah blah, for example, and I identify maybe a loophole in their research, and you're not proposing that this is what you want to work on, and the reason why you're applying for MEXT. So when they see that kind of stuff, oh, this person is interested in my work, and he was able to identify this kind of stuff, oh, that means he read my paper. Maybe they might respond to you. So that is the how you can get a supervisor easily. That is one of the easiest way. Sometimes you have to send email. Sometimes they might not get your mail, might be in the spam box. But if you are lucky, sometimes you're fortunate, they can see it. So Dr. Casey, what's the next question, please?
The next is what makes a research proposal stand out during the MEXT selection process?
Research proposal is the research proposal that makes it stand out is the innovation. That is the novelty of that research. What is new that you're trying to do? Oh, you're doing this for the first time. That is the innovation of your work. That is key. If you are doing a research that thousands of people have done it before, it has no meaning. Why are you doing it? This person already done it. It has no meaning. Personally, there are 2 types of research, I always say. There are globalized research. There are localized research. Localized research in the sense that the impact of that research is mainly for a particular area. Maybe you're studying effect of pollution in Port Harcourt or in Lagos. It is particular to a particular local study area. It is not a bad research, it is specific. And there's what we call global research. You're doing a research that if anybody is doing it in America or doing it in China or doing it in anywhere, Afghanistan, they should be getting same results. So it's globalized research. So what makes the proposal stand out basically is that innovation, that is the real world relevance, which is I just explained now as an example. Your methodology, as I said before, methodology is very key. Is it clear? Can it be done by anybody? Is your methodology okay? Yeah, is it clear? You have to ask yourself that question. If someone not in that field, can they look at your plan and be able to make a sense of it? So you have to be writing your plan in a way for people that are not in your field, that they can understand what you're trying to say. And is your plan aligned with Japanese research trends? That is also good, maybe particularly for what Japan is working on. Maybe Japan and maybe they focus more on in area of science or engineering, like semiconductors, for example. Like some countries, they have specific, like in Sweden, they usually conduct research maybe in the environmental field, like on PFAS. So there's a national interest in that kind of research. But all research proposals are good. They are not specific. You don't know which one is good. So it depends on maybe the laboratory. If you're applying, maybe you're getting supervisor for it. It depends on that laboratory, what they are working on. If they find interest in your work, then it's easier. If they are no interest in your work, then you have to try another place. So if you are searching for supervisor, for example, you have to you have to contact as many supervisors or potential hosts. You have to contact many. And by doing so, you have to continue to align, tweak your plan to be personalized to that particular laboratory. So the next question. You're muted.
Should I contact a professor before or after applying for a MEXT scholarship?
I think for that, I don't know. For embassy, a recommendation, like one of my friend, after they selected them, Then embassy asks them, they give them like list of universities they want to go. So they now choose. That is for embassy recommendation. But if it's for university recommendation, you have to, when the application period is open, you have to get a supervisor first. Because in the application process, you have to put the name of the potential of your supervisor in the application process. So you have to get a supervisor first if it's for university recommendation. But for embassy, I don't know whether you have to get a supervisor or not. So I think after you get an embassy recommendation, your MEXT, then the embassy will now ask you maybe which university you would like to go in Japan. Although you have in your application form, you already listed potential university you would like to go. So for embassy, maybe no need. For university recommendation, you have to get a supervisor first.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chris. Sullivan and Clement, do you have a word on this last question? Can the individual
Yes.
Yeah, please go on.
Yes, I do. I think for embassy, so the application form contains the list of the university. So you fill, and then they make a placement after, as Sullivan explained. So for the university recommendation, so previously it was a must that they made it in the form that you must have a professor that is willing to supervise you before you apply. But currently, I don't know for other universities, but for Hokkaido University, they have modified the system. First, they have a period for professor supervisor placement, whereby you during the application form you send through online through the homepage, and then send all the required document, your research proposal. So then the academic staff, we print it out and then give to the supervisors that are in line. But you must mention the lab. So, but it's not more now. That's how they before, during my own time. Let me share how I come to Japan through university recommendation. During my own time, it was mandatory that you must have a professor, because the professor need to write a recommendation letter for you that actually I'm willing to accept this person as my student in my lab. So, but now they have shifted from that ideology to where the academic staff will be the one to help you find a professor based on your research proposal. So during my time, what I did then was write, just like as Chris mentioned. Then I go through the website, the university website. Then I saw this professor, then contacted him through the email, and then but the advantage, one of the major important things, because for me, the Nigerian academic system is different from Japanese academic system. So Japan don't rate student first class, second class. They don't judge student based on you have first class, you have second class, or third class. They judge student based on what you can do. So really, then this depends on because even if someone may have a first class, but he may not have the capacity to publish a paper. Another person may have a second class upper, but the person have a capacity to publish a paper. So publication is what they need. The most important thing is your ability to publish a paper. Shows that you have this potential. There is this commitment in you to skate through. So during my time, what helped me most was that during my undergraduate, I was able to draft out a publication paper. And that publication paper was what I sent to my professor, my supervisor that I was looking for. So from there, the first email he sent me, so okay, I will accept it. Even though my background was geology and my supervisor was under geotechnical engineering. So, but I asked him that I have the potential, like I have the basic knowledge of geotech. If you have any project you want me to work on, so something like that. So they have made MEXT now is more easier compared to 8 years ago. So now you don't need to be afraid whether you have professor or not. But this are my experience based on Hokkaido University. I don't know of a Kishi University or other university. But if you are interested in Hokkaido University, during their opening for application, submit your research proposal and include your potential for publication if you have any. So I think the girl of Chinecheremu, so since you already have master, if you have publication already, you will stand out to get a MEXT scholarship for PhD easily compared to others if you're applying for PhD. So in as much as you want as undergraduate, try to at least publish your undergraduate topic or defense topic. So even if it is a local journal or any university journal, just do your best to do that publication, and then it will help you a lot. Thank you.
All right. Dr. Clement, please stay with us. The next questions are for you. And the first person asked, what are the most common mistakes applicants make during the MEXT application process? The most common mistakes applicants make during MEXT application process. Dr. Clement.
For me, I think the most common mistake is not having a logic research plan. And secondly is choosing a topic that is out of your scope. Like I think you mentioned that I just want to go to Japan. I will just accept any topic, any things, just write any things I want because maybe some people use AI to generate a research plan. So, and that research plan, they don't have anything, they don't have a basic knowledge about it. So you may be accepted based on your research plan, but in the actual sense, the topic is very broad for you. You can't contribute anything. You will be highly dependent on your professor, like I mentioned before. So Japanese professor, everybody is busy. They will only lead, you need to lead them, and then they will guide you. Not like them leading you and you follow. So, and this implies that for you to say, I want to conduct this research, you must have at least 50% knowledge of that thing. So that is the mistake. I know of a friend who came and then accept, just like, I just want to go to Japan and study. So, but in the process of conducting the research, so you find out that this topic is actually things that I'm not interested in. So that is the most that would be the worst mistake to accept to conduct a research that you are not interested. You don't have a knowledge of it. The topic is very complex, complicated. So at the end, you will be frustrated because the Japanese professor, everybody is busy. So you lead them while they follow you. Not that them leading you and you follow. You need to say, oh, I want to do this. They will ask you, oh, yeah, I think this is okay. Then you say, they will ask you, I want to do this. Then your supervisor will, why do you want to do it? You need to say, oh, I want to do this because of this. Then he himself will say, okay, but can you do it this way? It's not like them telling you, do this. You must tell them, I want to do this, and this is why. Thank you.
All right. Next question is for you, Dr. Clement. This person asked, what documents are most important during the embassy screening stage? What documents are most important during the embassy screening stage?
I think the most important document should be the research plan and the document of why Japan. So they will always ask you that question. Of all the country, why Japan? You must convince them that, oh, I like Japan. Japan is this. You must have something to tell about Japan, and you must have something to tell about your research. This is how I want to do my research. This is the result I'm expecting. And this is what I think that this is how I think it will benefit Nigeria, Japan, myself, and everyone, the society. That is the two major documents: the research plan and the statement of why do you want to study in Japan.
Okay. Another question is, how can applicants prepare effectively for the MEXT interview? How can applicants prepare effectively for the MEXT interview?
For the MEXT interview, the effectiveness depends on the effectiveness depends on your how will I put it? I think it depends on you knowing this, like your readiness to do this. If I'm talking to you, they can easily detect that this person, I don't see the potential in you. Just like as Silva mentioned, this like I want to invest this money to you. I want to give you this money. So you should show me the reason why I should give you the money. Even when you are speaking, by stepping in, by your first step in the office, they already detect the kind of person you are, your readiness. So first, you need to convince yourself, are you actually ready for this? By first finding a way to navigate by yourself. Many people, like for me, sometimes I find it strange that people asking me to write a research plan for them. So if I write a research plan for you, I will not be there when someone will ask you the procedures, the motivations, your expectation. So if I can easily do it for you, but can you explain it to another person when I'm not there? So that is the first point you need to. The question is just why? Why do you want to do this? It's very simple, and the question is very simple but complex when trying to answer it. So all these things you need to figure out. That question is always the Japanese interview. Is not that difficult. They want to see you express the openness, the readiness, and convincing them logically that I want to, because a lot of people are applying for this and they want to select 8 persons out of thousands of people applying. So you should tell them something. So first, try, even as hard as it is, try to fill all the documents by yourself. Then you can ask for people's opinion. That's the first step. Then be ready to ask, be ready to check the because most of if you go to the embassy website, there are a lot of past questions, and there are a lot of opinion that the old people have already shared. So don't skip. You need to like, for example, now someone asked the age limit. So I find it strange because this age limit is actually written in that application guideline. So the age limit during my time may be different from with the age limit now. So this asking this question, I feel strange that are you actually ready? Because if I want to, because during now everything's Google have made life easy. During my own time, I don't have this opportunity to talk with people. I figure out all this by myself. So for you to ask me what is the age limit when these people, the Igbezes shared the link May 7th. So if I'm interested in applying for this mess, I should have known the age limit. Oh, I'm not interested. I shouldn't be here. If I don't know the age limit and I'm here, so it is waste of my time and energy to be here. So this is the readiness that in terms of the interview. So before you step into the office, they already read your face, your expression, your body language, and everything. They can easily detect, oh, this person is not for this. Thank you.
All right, last question for you, Dr. Clement. This person is asking you, it's close to the last, question. The person said, what type of questions should applicant expect during the embassy interview?
The common question is, so why how can this your research, why do you choose this topic? So how do you intend to manage, how do you intend to conduct this research? So something like that. And why do you choose Japan? Are you sure do you know anything about Japan? Something like, they can ask you just very common, they may ask you common things. What city in Japan is this is not, I'm not saying that this is just the question they will ask you, but the question they will ask you is very small question that may even skip your mind if you are not totally ready. So it's not like their question is very simple. Although I did not attend the embassy's interview, I think Sylvans may be in a good position to say. But during my interview with the Hokkaido University, the first question they asked me was, why did I choose Japan? Why Japan, why of all the country, why Japan? Because Japanese professors are always, because many of them cannot speak English, so they always feel strange that you leave American or Australia or Nigeria is a English speaking country. Why don't you go to all these countries that speak English? Why Japan? Because Japanese professors, they don't speak English. So that was the first question they asked me. Then secondly is Nigerian culture, Nigerian weather is different. So the second question they asked me was, do I have any knowledge about Japanese weather condition? So I should be able to know that I know I'm applying for program in Hokkaido. I should be able to know that Hokkaido Hokkaido experienced a heavy winter. So that I saying that means that has given them the knowledge that I actually know that yeah, I'm ready to adapt with this condition, something like that. So and that question was they don't even ask me detail about my research. It was, yeah, Japanese food. Do I need do I like anything about, what do I like most about Japan? Japanese food. I should be able to know that One Piece is the major anime in Japan, because everybody, like, what this means, it's not, the question may not really based on your research. Is the common things that you can, because research can come after. The first things is your ability to adapt to the culture. Because if you are happy in Japan, you can do exploits in your research. And your research topic, they can easily change it. So that basic question is what they asked me. They did not even ask me anything about my research, this and that. It's just this simple question. So Sylvain can tell more about the embassy questions if he has any opinion to that.
Thank you very kindly. Suli, do you have any comment on the last question before I read out your questions?
Okay, yeah, I do have one. But it's almost similar to what was asked during the university, but I think they tried to categorize those questions in based on general things you need to know about Japan. They'll ask you something about Japan, maybe the city your school is, right? Because the school I was applying to bears the name Tokyo, but it wasn't already in Tokyo. It was in Saitama. They were trying to build a new campus in Tokyo. Then now it has a Tokyo campus. But then they asked me, "Are you aware that you're not gonna stay in Tokyo, right?" So I said, "Yes, I know that the school is in Saitama, right?" These are some questions they might ask you to know how prepared you are. They also ask you how you want to adapt with the food because we eat different food here in Nigeria. They'll ask you a question from your proposal. They might ask what's your research topic. And if you don't tell them what you have there on paper, that means you're not the one that prepared it, just like Dr. Amagu has been saying, right? So you need to they want to be sure that you are the one who has that document. They also want to be sure that you know where you are going, what you are going to experience, right? How about they want to also test your knowledge of Japanese, even though they are sure you're not gonna know it fully, but they might just ask you, what's your best Japanese word, or can you make a sentence using Japanese? If you know anything, maybe konnichiwa, anything, just say it, right? They are not expecting you to be proficient in that, but just that your interest, that your zeal, that your ability to adapt, right? They always ask that adaptation question. How are you going to adapt? Different climate, different food, different culture, different people. And of course, why Japan, right? These are a few questions there. Those categories will come from research, it will come from the real world of you trying to adapt to a different environment and culture. You are muted.
We have 3 questions for you, Sullivan. Please try as much as you can to summarize them. We have just 5 minutes to end this webinar. So the question is, how did your MEXT experience in Japan help you secure opportunity in the United States? That's number one. Number two is, what should students do during their MEXT studies to maximize future international opportunities? And lastly, this person is asking, maybe this person, I think this individual knows you. This person asks, can applicants without first class degrees still win the MEXT scholarship? These are 3 questions.
Okay, the first one is how it helped me, the experience I get from Japan. Yeah, I think it's one of those building blocks that actually helped me. One of them is that the CV became stronger, right? They knew that I did something good in Nigeria and I also did something good in Japan. So the is there, right? They could see that it's not a coincidental, right? Also, getting a recommendation from a very known professors will also help maximize your chance of being here. And they also, PhD is a very rigorous work, is tedious. And sometimes they are skeptical of you continuing. They are skeptical of you finishing what you started, right? So being that you did something 4 years in Nigeria, 2 years in another country, that they'll believe you more that okay, you have what it takes, you have that record, you know what you're about to get into, right? So, and also in United States, they emphasize more on teaching assistantship. Sometimes you tend to teach, like now I teach undergraduates. For them to actually believe that you can actually teach their students, you need to also have the experience of teaching other people. Except aside that of Nigeria, they also want, okay, did you have the experience of teaching in another country? And yeah, you have done that in Japan, right? So it adds to your CV, it adds to who you are that, okay, this person can actually do this. He has that. He's not afraid of talking to crowd, he's not afraid of talking to students, not afraid of impacting, or not just being afraid, he likes, enjoy doing that, right? So these are things that could come to mind. And also your research will actually change, right? What you do, what you produce, what you share, right? What you write, you actually change. So these are to summarize that question. Then the second one, I didn't get that right, but I think I got the third one. So
what should students do during their MEXT studies to maximize future international opportunities?
yeah, just do your best, right? Don't go there. Know why you are there, right? If you have that vision of leaving Japan or going first to going somewhere else, right? You now see that this is a very big opportunity. First, you need to make sure that you are close to your professors in Japan. And for professors to be able to recommend you, is their brand, is their name they are putting out there, they're telling the whole world, they're telling the university that I recommend this person, right? And those professors meet, Japanese professors often come to United States for conferences, so they know each other, right? So for them to recommend you, they must be able to say a thing or two about you, right? So for them to say good thing about you, you must be good. So you need to be punctual. You need to show that you have that you can try to finish PhD. So you need to be a good person in Japan for them to like a good person, like a good person. Secondly, you need to be serious with your study. You need to show that you can do it. Thirdly, with that, those professors can actually recommend you. And also try to improve your research, right? Do something better, right? Also, try to maximize any opportunity for you to go for conferences. You might meet professors from other countries that you introduce yourself and then you have that personal contact that when you want to apply, they already know you are coming. So if you know you are gonna leave, some of the universities in Japan has this fund to send someone abroad or sponsor your conferences, right? So maximize the opportunity, have something to produce, go out there to those conferences. From there, you meet those professors you want to work with in the United States or any country you want to talk with them, exchange contacts, email them, let them know you are in Japan and you are here and why want to work with me in 1 year, right? You just 1 year in your master's and you're talking to them that you want to do a PhD, maybe a year gap, right? They know you're not just waking up to do it. You already plan for it and it's just like 1 year gap. They're expecting your application next year. Do you get what it means? So they already know who you are. By that time you want to send the application, you remind them about this, that I've just sent my application. They will welcome you, right? So it does. You need to build those relationships and you need to commit to what you do. And whether someone without first class is going to be selected, the answer is yes, right? The document did not specify any grade, any academic grade. So what it means is that once they didn't say it there, that means people who doesn't have first class will be selected, right? That's why when I was making presentation talking about, I wasn't emphasizing more on that. Is that an advantage? Of course, yes, right? So, but then you don't just bank on it and then you don't do a solid work. So there are other things they expect. You're going there for research. So if you are very good, if you're a very good researcher, you have things to show, you could use it to make up like documents. There are so many documents there for them to check. They will focus very well on your research proposal. They will look at that, they look at your CV, then if they want to, they will also look at your grade. But then grade is not the only factor that determines. So if you're strong in other areas, you could use it to make up and then you are good to go. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. And we have a few more questions, about 5 of the questions, but the people who sent in those questions did not specify anybody they want to respond to their question. So I'll just throw the questions here. Anyone, Dr. Chris, Dr. Clement, and Sullivan, anybody can just respond to the question. Number one is Japanese language proficiency required before applying for MEXT? And also, can married applicants apply for MEXT scholarship? Is it possible to work part-time while studying under MEXT? How much does the MEXT monthly stipend cover in Japan? And what advice will you give to someone applying for MEXT for the first time? Dr. Chris, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
Do you get the questions? Is Japanese proficiency required? Can married applicants apply? Is it possible to work part-time? How much does MEXT monthly stipend is? What advice do you give someone who is applying for the first time?
So the first question is yes. The second question is yes. The third question is part-time. Yes, I think in Japan you can work as a student part-time 28 hours per week.
Correct.
So you can work. And the last one is advice for first timer.
Yes.
I think the advice for first timer will still be same advice for old timers. The first is arrange your documents carefully. Like you have to be very meticulous about it. They are looking for a way to drop you. So if your document is already having some issues, they don't have time to start. They won't contact you to tell you you made a mistake in this document. They just drop you. So your document should be, let me use the word accurate. Follow the instructions carefully. Sometimes Japanese English can be somehow, but you have to try as much as you understand what they want. You have to make the document to be properly arranged. The forms are filled carefully. Then the plan aspect is to make your research plan as clear as possible. I think that's my honest advice. And don't stress about it. Don't worry too much. Don't start thinking about it too much. Just apply. If you're a Christian, you pray, then you wait.
All right. As part of your closing comments, Dr. Chris, please can you tell us how much MEXT monthly stipend is?
For next monthly stipend for PhDs and masters, I think 148,000 yen, which if I'm just going to multiply by 10, that is about 1.4 or approximately 1.5 million naira per month.
All right.
For masters, I think it's about just 2,000 yen lesser. So it's almost same.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Chris. And also, Dr. Clement, as part of your closing comments, and we want to know what leadership skills should students develop while studying in Japan? This forms part of your closing comments. Dr. Clement, please.
The leadership skill.
Mm.
I think the leadership it depends on, I think, is individual. So some persons don't want to associate with people. Like for me, when I was during my stays in Hokkaido University, I was president of eCube, then vice president of academic eCube academic affairs, and also secretary for sports for HUSAI. HUSAI is a Hokkaido University International Student Association, and also other organization. But like as I said, some persons, they don't have interest in all this thing. But I tell you, if you have interest, because this is part of integrating. Japan is a very close country that on your own you cannot do it. So I always advise people, try to get involved, whatever that everyone is doing, just do it. It may help you in future, or it may not, but at least there must be a lesson from it. So for me, I'm the kind of person that I always want to get myself involved, not only just to receive. I should also be able to help people do one thing or the other. So that is the part I think is necessary for the leadership. Depends on individual. If you want to get involved, it is open. So Japan is not Japanese university is not like Nigerian university where you contest for SCG and expect to be paid. All this thing is you should have a free mind of do things freely without expecting anything as a benefit. So if you have this type of skill, it will help you to lead others in Japan. So they don't expect someone to give you money because you do this or do that. Just have the selfless skill, leadership skill, that I just want to do this thing freely. Then with this, to help you to integrate openly with other students, and then make your life comfortable. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And Sullivan, as part of your closing comments, please, what are the biggest challenges international students face in Japan, and how do they overcome those challenges? Sullivan, this forms part of your closing comments.
All right. I think one thing about Nigeria is there's this saying that if you survive in Nigeria, you're going to survive everywhere, right? So I don't want us to see the challenges as very big, right, or insurmountable. The few ones are language barrier, cultural differences, trying to integrate, and punctuality. Yeah, Nigerians are not punctual, right? And it's a big thing there in Japan. If your class is 8 a.m., just know your professor will be there 5 minutes before time. Nothing will stop him from being there. If he's not gonna be there, he'll email you. So you have to be punctual, right? It's not, do you have lecture today? Cry, what? No, you need to be there, right? So you need to be punctual both in your lectures, in your research, and everything you're doing. And also you need to know that you're adapting, you're going into a different environment. You know how many hours apart from Nigeria. So even the time zone will tell you that the difference is much, right? And you're going to a developed country, so you need to also adapt to certain ways of doing things. But like I said, Nigerians are the nations that they survive, and then imagine if they could do well in Nigeria, they'll do much better in Japan, right? So they'll be able to, in few months' time, they'll get into the system and be able to jump in the right train. Because one of the mistakes I made, right, then learning process was I entered the express train instead of using semi-express. So all this is the same, right? It's the same route, but then being able to know the different train to take at a time, all those things, that just little things, but you get over it with time.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. I don't think we are leaving anything behind. Any comments? Anybody who want to share something more? I don't think there is anything to share more. From anything more from
Yeah, the things I want to add is
yeah.
for student preparing for the MEXT, don't rush. Just like I said, if you are not ready, just first try to understand the guideline first. Read it by yourself. Then if you want someone to help you, it will be just understand that as you are busy and that person is also busy. So something like, and for undergraduate student or someone that is planning, so try to at least first develop the skill of like writing skill of, let me try my best to publish on your own. So this I think this was one of the advantage I have during my own application. Like the way I got a MEXT scholarship was just like as play, like just not serious, or just because during my time I was while I was preparing for NYC, I sent application for about, then I applied for MEXT, I applied for JICA, I applied the other scholarship, I applied, I think about 3 in Japan. So I was lucky that the Hokkaido University contacted me, that I passed the screening, the university screening. So why I passed the university screening was that I was able to develop, I was able to publish my undergraduate research topic. Because whether you have first class or second class, they don't care. They don't. Japan don't. Japan, I learned that first class or second class is not important to them. What actually important is your ability to develop research and then follow up. So if you are applying, so maybe if this year own is already at the finishing, then you can try to write a journal paper. Try, even if it is a local one, publish it. It gives you advantage over others. And now ladies, I encourage ladies to apply more. So now I think they always have a quotas for girls, for women, and then for men. Most of the application always come from men. So if you have like, I think the Chine Chiremov, she can easily get, because she's a lady and then she have a master. If you have a publication, so it will be an advantage for you over others. You can easily get, there are always quota for ladies, and then I learned all this during my stays in Hokkaido University. So at the end, they receive a lot of application from guys. So why the vacancy for lady would be that any lady that apply, they can easily try to fill in that quota. So always be ready. Just do things by yourself before you are asking for help. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Wisdom, the application is open every year, and I think it's the same period, right? Same. Just go and follow Japan Embassy in Nigeria. You see the application link or the call for application each time the embassy calls for it every year. If you can go on Facebook and follow their verified page, that will be helpful. And one other private message here is Someone is saying, it's sad my age is not allowing me to apply for MEXT undergraduate, and I don't have any bachelor degree for master's or PhD. What can I do, or any other alternative? I just want to know. Dr. Chris, can you just speak, briefly a minute on this particular subject? I think age limit is a problem here. What other options or alternatives does this individual have? Chris, Sullivan, Clement, anybody?
Dr. Chris, do you want to say something?
Okay, go ahead, Sullivan.
Okay. The thing is, MEXT, like Kremen said, they have age requirement, right? Is specified, is there, right? So applying when you know that they don't, or they have this particular criteria is just maybe more of wasting your time, right? Because Japan is they are very, very detailed, right? And I think you could also look out for other opportunities. There's so many other scholarship in Japan, like JICA, right? I'm not sure whether they have age requirements, and the other ones which my colleague might mention. Also, you could also look out for other countries, right? They have a Hungary scholarship. They have the one in South Korea. The other ones you could actually think about, right? Since there is a criteria here that you did not meet, right? And also, I just remember to say this. Always read your document very, very, very. Don't just read it, assimilate it, right? This year they did something new, right? There is a checklist that you are meant to now submit aside your normal application, right? It was one of the guy I was helping to review what he was submitting, and then I asked him, "Have you gone to read everything there?" He said, "Yes, I've read the form." I said, "Okay, go back, use that COF application and go through the document." He now saw that checklist, right? I don't I don't have that knowledge that there's something new, right? And I wasn't going to go through and start reading all those documents for you. You have to do that yourself. So if I wasn't like telling him to go back and read, if I was just banking on or only what I did, right? I would be like, okay, he submitted a good application, not knowing that he has missed one of the major things, because that's the first thing they're going to see now, right? So you need to also make sure that you read it and you assimilate it. That the way they ask you to number it, number it. The way they ask you to arrange it, the first one, the second one, do it that way. The way they ask you to package it, the certified copy, whatever they ask you to do. Japanese, they don't like sorry, right? They want you to, they expect you to do what you're meant to do. That's how their countries develop. So they do things very thoroughly. So you should be thorough. So if you're applying for a scholarship, they expect you to read it. And if you're not able to read it, if you're not able to know what we are doing, that's the first easiest way for them to know that you are not prepared for it. Dr. Chris, is there anything you need to talk to him about? Maybe other scholarship in Japan that is not age limited?
Thank you, Sullivan. I think you've said everything. Just other scholarship would be maybe you have to try to self-fund yourself and get admission. And when you start your program, university usually have like scholarship for self-funded. I think like there's a Rotary Club or something. There's some kind of funding that is for people that are self-funding. One of my friend there, that's what he did. He came with his money, and when he started, then there are scholarship that are available for people that are not on scholarship, that are not on like MES or JICA. Then you can apply for those ones. So that will enable you to be on a scholarship. I think that's another option.
All right, that's a good point. I think these internal whatever scholarship they call it, tuition deduction scholarship. They do have it in different universities, 80%, 90%. Sometimes they do give 100%.
Yes.
Yeah, so you just have to apply to the university of your choice. and submit the relevant materials they requested, and also indicate, I think it's important also you state the family annual income, something like that. So from that, they will have insight if your family is, middle income earners. They will also have, some kind of understanding, and they will issue some level of, scholarship depending on the quality of your application material. The most important thing is to apply. If you do not get the, scholarship you desire, you may decline that application that particular year, and in subsequent year, you may reapply again. The only thing that it may cost you is that you may pay for application fee, to the universities if you are applying as an individual, not MEXT, because when you apply through MEXT, you don't pay for application fee. But when you apply as an independent financed student directly to any university, some universities, I don't know if there is any university in Japan that doesn't, ask for application fee, but some universities, like the one I attended, they do ask for application fee, but sometimes it's very little money. So you can apply. If you get tuition deduction, you may accept the admission. If you do not get tuition deduction that you think it's reasonable for you, based on your family income, you may decline that admission that particular year and reapply subsequently. I think in Japan, they have two windows. One is April intake and also September intake. So you have two options in a particular year to apply and reapply. So that said, another thing is JASO. JASO gives also, I think, I'm not sure, but I think around 50K or thereabout to independent finance students. You receive 50,000 Japanese yen every month as stipend if you go through the route of independent finance. So there are a whole lot of scholarship opportunity for independent finance students. The bottom line is to apply to the university, communicate with them, not agent. You do not need any agent at this point. Go to the university. That's the good thing about Japanese university. They are very responsive. When you send email to them, they will reply to you and give you further insights on your application or your inquiry. Is there any other thing from our guest? Anything more?
There's also another scholarship. I think there are a lot of scholarship. This African Development Bank scholarship.
Yes, that's correct.
So you can, I think you can don't focus on MEXT also. For me, during my time, I applied for 3 scholarships in Japan. So, and I got MEXT. So something like that. So you can try and always find a way to navigate things by yourself. Google has made things, I don't know much as I know now when I was 8 years ago when I was applying for this. So I tried to Google the list of Japanese scholarship, the list of scholarship in Japan. It will bring everything for you. All these things require time. It's not things that you ask someone to do for you. It's things you do by yourself, get the knowledge you can take for me, I'm the kind of person that I want to know so that I will tell the story. But if you are the type that let me hear from another person, so it will anyway depends on what's for it. Life is all about individual. But I'm the type of the person I want to know so that I will tell the story. So this kind of persons always navigate easily. But if you are the type that you want to hear from another person, life is more easier. And Google has made everything easy. You can get all the information you need, and then how to process a lot of review online already. Just try to check and then find a way to do before you ask for help from others. Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys, and then that's it. As we come to the end of today's session, I would like to sincerely thank our distinguished guests and speakers, Dr. Chris, Dr. Clement, and Sullivan, for sharing their knowledge, experiences, and valuable advice. I also thank everyone who joined us live and those who sent in their questions even before today. And those who participated actively, those that asked questions during the discussions. And on behalf of the Igbo Association of Japan, Igbo, we wish all the prospective applicants success in their academic journey and future endeavors. We are looking forward to have you guys here in Japan by September or April next year, April or September next year, so you can explore as much as option as you want, as you wish. You are not limited only to MEXT scholarship. You can apply to other scholarships. Like all our guests said, there are scholarships, JICA, JASO, internal university scholarships. You can explore these opportunities. And we're looking forward to see you here in Japan this time next year. Thank you for your participation. And from here in Tokyo, good night and have a pleasant night rest. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.